Coppee Hall is thought of as the journalism building on campus. While this may be true now, the small building nestled in between Linderman Library and Drown Hall has a lot more history in its walls than people realize. It was originally named after the first president of Lehigh, Henry Coppee, who was also a professor of the arts. Coppee was erected in 1882, and it was originally used as a gymnasium. I spoke with Professor Jack Luley, and he told me a little bit more about it. Okay, so in terms of what you just told me, it was the third building resurrected.
Third building, right. So the first building on the campus was Christmas Saucon.
Okay.
And the Moravians already had that, so that was already built. So then they built the University Center. And if you think about what a university should be, that had everything in the University Center. So you had the classrooms on the first floor, faculty offices on the second floor, third floor, if you go up there and you see all the stained glass, that was the chapel. So everything they needed was in that building, and there wasn't too many students. So then what else do you need? A university? You need the library. So then they built the Linderman Library. Third building you need a gymnasium. And that's what this was originally. This was a gymnasium. It's hard to even picture it. And one of these floors, we think it's the second floor, wasn't here. Yeah, so it was just the rings were hanging down.
And the high ceilings.
The high ceilings, right. And so it was a gymnasium. And now if you look over the archway right in the front, maybe you can get a picture of it, it says Arts and Science. And so for a little while after it was a gym, it became the Arts and Science building.
In addition to his presidency, Henry Coppee also started the Brown and White student publication with William C. Anderson, the first editor-in-chief. The first volume was released on January 16, 1894.
I know when I got here in 1990, upstairs was a painting studio. There was just paper everywhere, and it was actually pretty sloppy. Everyone kept saying that journalism was going to move here. And so what I was telling you before was that when I got to be chair the first time, we were in the basement of the UC. The president said, well, you can move in after you raise the money. And so we raised money from foundations and corporations and alumni. And so we moved in about 7 years ago.
7 years ago. During our interview, Professor Jurek describes the effects that Professor Luley's fundraising efforts had on Coppee Hall.
I know that Jack Luley was involved, Professor Luley was involved in a Capital Works fundraising campaign. That the building we see today is a direct result of that, because obviously it's been completely refurbished on the interior. But you think about this, I mean, the building itself must go back to the 19th century, but the interior is completely up to date, state of the art.
Not only does Coppee Hall have state-of-the-art amenities such as up-to-date computer labs and vending machines, but it is also one of the few handicapped accessible buildings on our mountainous campus. On a final note, I asked Professor Jurek and Professor Luley if there were any fun facts or superstitions about Coppee.
I know it's haunted by the ghost of Asa Packer.
There are people, in fact, our coordinator, Linda Lipko, swears there is a ghost around here, that you can hear noises and things during the night, but I've never heard one.